Hi, boys and girls. This is Miss Janice again for Storytime, and I have this book. It's called Giraffes Can't Dance, and it's by Giles Andrea. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully bandy and his legs were rather thin. Bandy, the word bandy means that his legs were out and they were wiggly. So that's what the word bandy means. He was very good at standing still and munching roots of trees. But when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. The warthogs started waltzing, and the rhinos rocked and rolled. The lions danced a tango, which was elegant and bold. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked towards the floor, but the lions saw him coming and they soon began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald!" the animals all laughed. "Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool." "Oh, Gerald, don't be daft." That means he's being crazy and silly. Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. "They're right," he thought. "I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot." That means clumsy. So he crept off from the dance floor and he started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before, so sad and so alone. Then he found a little clearing and he looked up in the sky. "The moon can be so beautiful," he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed the cricket, who'd seen Gerald earlier on. "But sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song." Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that that lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hoofs had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying, and his tail was swishing round. He threw his arms out sideways and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful, his mouth was open wide. "I am dancing. Yes, I'm dancing. I am dancing, Gerald cried. Then one by one each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. That means he was really focused on his dancing. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen." "How is it you can dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." But Gerald simply twizzled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. "We all can dance," he said, "when we find music that we love." And that's the end of our story. Our story today was about a giraffe that he learned that he could really dance as good as all the other animals, and the animals were really surprised about it. So I thought I would have some activities for you to try at home so that you could have your own dance party. You could have a celebration of the beginning of our summer program for the children at the library. Even though we're not meeting at the library, you can see different activities online, and I want to encourage you to check out all of the activities that will be listed on our website and on Facebook. So please enjoy those activities. But today I'm going to show you how to get ready for a dance party at home. Our theme this year for the summer program is the fairy tales. So I thought maybe you could have a fairy tale dance or a fairy tale ball, or maybe you just want a regular old dance that you might enjoy having in your house. So here are some activities that you can make. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a microphone, a pretend microphone. So you will need a paper towel rolled like this. And I did cut it down a little bit. So as you can see, I did cut it a little bit. And then what I did was I put paper around the microphone, and then I added some tape. And inside, I filled it with some newspaper just to make it sturdy, that it didn't get flimsy. So to make the microphone part, this part, I'll show you what it looks like. You start with a piece of aluminum foil, and all you're going to do is you're just going to take it and crumble it up into a ball. And then you're going to have several other pieces that you're going to keep wrapping it around the ball. And you want to make it look almost like an ice cream cone. I'm sure you might like ice cream cones. So you try to make similar to an ice cream cone. And you keep on wrapping aluminum foil on until you get it to look something like this. I'm going to add one more piece here. I'm going to add one more. And you really have to squish it down here. And then after you made this part, and remember the newspaper in there to make it nice and sturdy, then all you have to do is try to squish this down in. It's pretty thick right now, so maybe I made it a little bit too thick. Let's see if I can't get it in here. And you just push it down in. And then you have your pretend microphone. You can use this microphone. You can maybe have a karaoke where you have a karaoke part of your dance party where you have music going and you know the words to it and you can just pretend to sing the words to the music. Or you can have a lip sync part of your dance where you have a song put on that somebody is singing and you just pretend that you're the person singing those words. So you can use that as part of your party. Okay? The next thing I have is I want you to try to make some instruments. There are several things at home that you might want to use, and you can make up your own, but here are some that I made up. These are like shakers to make some sounds. I have plastic containers, and inside this one I have rice, and it makes a nice sound. And in this one I put some peanuts in it, and it makes a different kind of sound. So you can listen to the music and dance and use some rhythmic, these are called rhythm instruments, and they make different sounds. It all depends on what you put in is what the sound that you will get. Here's another instrument that I made. I used a oatmeal box, and I covered it, and then I put some dots on to decorate it. And inside, I brought some spoons, and you can turn it into a drum. And you can you can make some rhythm noises during your dance party or for people to dance to. So that's a drum that you can make. Here's another simple instrument. It's called a kazoo. You take a paper towel roll, and you have a piece of wax paper. And before you put the wax paper on, you might want to decorate it. I just gave it blue and red stripes. And then you're going to put your wax paper over top of one end, and then you're going to put a rubber band on it. And when it's all done, you can make a noise. Well, maybe the queen and the king might be coming to your fairy tale dance party or ball, and you have to announce their entrance. So that's how you can announce people coming to your dance party, just like they do for kings and queens and prince and princesses. Here's one more that I want to show you that I made with things around the house. This is an old muffin tin that I had. And I put some paper inside some of the spots because it makes a different kind of sound than when you play it. Whoops, I lost my paper. Let's try it. And then what you do is you take a spoon and you just make noise. And the paper does give it just a little bit of a different sound. Here's a paper, and here's without the paper. It's a little bit different, but you can make your own rhythm with the music that you have on. There are some other things that you can do at your dance party, not only the karaoke and the lip sync and playing your instruments. You can, at some balls or dances, you can have competitions, dance competitions. You can, sometimes there was a dance called a sock hop where they did other kinds of games like a hula hoop contest, or you might want to do the limbo dance and see who can get under a pole and see how low the pole can get from the limbo and the limbo dance. You can also take time out to decorate your room that you're going to have your dance in. You can find, maybe you might have some Christmas lights that you might want to string around your room, the room that you're going to have the party in. Or you can put streamers or balloons or any other kind of decorations to make it special. You can also have your family or maybe some other boys and girls, maybe they can come to your house now, and you can have them dress up as a fairy tale character, which would be a lot of fun for your fairy tale ball or dance party. So those are some ideas for you to try out. I hope you have a lot of fun with your party. There's one more thing that I would like to share with you before I say goodbye. I have this book. It's called Stretch. And professional dancers, they like to do some stretching before they do their dance routines. And so, like in Gerald's case, he was swishing his hoofs on the ground, and he was bending and circling his neck, and he was swishing his tail. So I thought I would give you something to get you ready for your dancing party so that you don't hurt your muscles and you can loosen up a little bit before your party. And again, this book is called Stretch, and it's by Doreen Cronin. Stretch with me, hands up in the air. Count to 3. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now hold it right there. Stretch up high for a snack in the sky. Can you really stretch way up high? Stretch out wide for a ride on the breeze. Stretch out your arms side to side. Can you stretch up to the ceiling? Stretch your arms up to the ceiling. Here they are. They're bending over, but their backsides are going up in the air. That's pretty silly. Can you stretch to the floor? Maybe you can be like the dog and stretch like that. You can stretch with a whisper. You can stretch with a roar. Stretching your mouth. That would be good for the karaoke and your lip syncing that you might be doing. I can stretch underwater. Can you pretend like you're underwater and move your arms and legs? I can stretch on a wave. I can stretch on a surfboard if I'm very, very brave. What would you look like if you were on a surfboard? Can you show your family members what it looks like? Some will stretch to show your feathers. Some will stretch to show your spots. Can you keep on stretching different ways? A stretch that goes a stretch too far might tie you up in knots. Can you pretend that you're in knots? Bring your legs together and your arms together like you're a knot. A yawn is just a stretch that starts down deep inside. It travels up into your mouth and makes it open wide. There again, you're getting your mouth ready for singing. If I were an inchworm, I'd stretch from place to place. Can you lay on the floor and be an inchworm and stretch? If I were an astronaut, I'd stretch in outer space. Look how you can stretch. Pretend that you're floating in the air or in outer space. I stretch my lungs to take a breath, then blow out nice and slow. Dancers have to do that a lot to control their breath. A bubble will stretch and stretch until there's no room left to grow and pop. So take a deep breath and then let it out. If you stretch me and I stretch you. Look how they're stretching. You can do that with a friend or a family member. Stretch together. We'll stretch twice as far. Who knows what we can do? And that's the end of this story. I hope you give yourself a good stretch before you do your dancing party. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope that you have fun doing the activities and also have fun at your at-home dance party. It was nice being with you today, and have a fun time. Bye.